to everyone to the dedication of the Charlie Zuckerman Room. And we have Liz Minor, our former mayor here, and we're going to cut the ribbon and do the unveiling, and we're going to say a few words on the inside. And Liz, I'll close this if you want to do the cutting. I'm going to say a few words and then I'm going to do the closing remarks, but we're going to have remarks from a couple of our former mayors. But I want to say, first of all, that I did know Charlie Zuckerman, and I don't recall ever in my life that I've ever done a dedication for anybody that I've met in person. And this is truly an honor for me this evening. And I'll have a few words at the end and for our closing remarks, but I would like to have our former mayor, Liz Minor, to come up and say a few words.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. I was very honored to be able to say a few words for Charlie. When I was first appointed to council in 1980, this was the old council chambers, so we met in here for quite a few years after I served on council. And of course, Charlie was mayor at the time. And he was something else. He never held back, honestly. You never knew what he was going to say or come up with, but he was absolutely an amazing mayor. His kindness and his considerations extended far beyond party lines. I think Charlie was loved by everybody, and Charlie loved everybody. He was a wonderful mayor. He was, I don't know anything that he was asked to do that he didn't try to do. And his wonderful booming voice and his laughter, he just always, it was always very pleasant to be around. He was so kind and so wonderful with everyone. So I really can't think of any place more appropriately named than for Charles. I thank you very much.
I also have a few words here for one of our former mayors, Betsy Helm. A few years ago, Betsy started the mayor's luncheon where we used to get together and just chit chat and talk about everything. And I think we had discussed one time that probably was the most mayors still living at one time that were able to get together and have lunch. So we would meet and just talk about the past, and of course they would tell me what I need to do for the future. So this is from Betsy Helm. I can't think of a more outstanding Winchester citizen for this dedication. Everyone knew Charlie Zuckerman, a man who gave back to the community in spades. He didn't just talk the talk, he walked with us throughout his life. He served in World War II in many service organizations, especially the Red Cross and the Lions Club. In the city council chamber downstairs for 24 years, 16 as elected councilman, 8 as mayor. He was proud of his city and his heritage. No doubt his constant reminder of the need for blood donations has saved many lives. When I considered running for mayor, then as a Republican, I asked for his opinion. He He strongly encouraged me and remained supportive. Charlie did not believe in partisan politics belonging in local elections. Shortly before he and Jenny died, they invited Jack and me for dinner to talk over current affairs. Charlie was a kind, thoughtful, remarkable person. Winchester was most fortunate that the Zuckerman family chose to settle here. Elizabeth G. We will now have some remarks of his service by Planning Director Tim Humans.
Thank you very much. I'll try to keep this fairly brief. I want to offer a special welcome to the Zuckerman family. I'm probably the only employee that remembers working here at City Hall when Mayor Zuckerman was the mayor of City Council. I started in, I think, April of '88, and so he was on, I think, his last 3 or 4 months of serving in that capacity. The PowerPoint presentation that's running, by the way, this is the maiden viewing of this. It's a project that I've been pursuing for a number of years, trying to gather up photos of city councils, and this coincidentally begins in 1956 when Mayor Zuckerman started. It's phenomenal that any individual would have served an elected office over the period of 4 decades. But, Charlie, as I affectionately know him, started in '56 and finished out his term as mayor in 1988, just before Mayor Helm came into office. You're welcome to hang around. I know councilors need to get to the council meeting here shortly, but if you see any errors in any of the names, some of you who maybe remember some of these folks, I'm still looking for identifying some of them. But there's never any question about Charlie. He has those signature glasses on in just about all of them, except for the very last one in, I think it was 85 or 86. He doesn't have the glasses on, so I had to find that, where's Charlie? Could we switch, just one other thing I wanted to show. There's so many things I could talk about Charlie, but I thought this person here might be able to best summarize.
I don't really feel that it was necessary to have one because
when you came down, what, and in a role as mayor, say, was greeting out-of-town visitors or anything, did you use any other office?
Went to the council chamber.
In the council chamber. And that was located up where the city treasurer is today, located on the south side of the building, the Oval Room.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
I let the public know that I'd be in my office every Tuesday afternoon, and anybody wanted to come down and see me could. I served as 8 years, and I think I had 3 people come down. But it was nice to have a place when dignitaries came in and we could take them in.
That's what you used it for.
And the Girl Scout proclamations and things like that.
Yeah.
It was nice to have a place to go and do whatever we had to do.
I'd just like to say that anybody's thinking about running for mayor of Winchester, it's the healthiest job in the country that I know of, because everybody's been mayor since 1948, still living. So that's, I think there's
Right.
7 or 8 of us, which is
That's
an
great.
unusual record.
That is a good thing, and I hope.
So that's just a little clip of what we had done in terms of oral interviews back when we had the City Hall Centennial back in 2001. And as Mayor Schmaltz noted, it is a good job for longevity because so many of our former mayors were alive at that point, including the 3 you saw there, also Mick Clow and Stuart Bell, and we lost quite a few of them in that short period right after 2001. So we're glad to capture that. But I thought, Charlie said it best in terms of, he was always willing to speak with people, but this issue of whether we needed a mayor's office, the mayor back then, and to some degree today, it's a lot about getting out of the building and greeting people and cutting ribbons and things. So it's wonderful that we're cutting a ribbon this evening, recognizing him. I want to just close with one real quick funny story. When I first came here, we had, I think, 12 committees of City Council. The Planning and Development Committee, Liz, you remember, Betty Burkholder chaired that. And I was new, still green, up behind the ears and stuff. And we were in the council chambers, and it was like 7:30 in the morning. Ed Daly, former city manager, put all the committee meetings. ungodly hours in the morning. But anyway, I had my back to the door, and the counselors were, 5 of the committee members were on the other side, and I'm talking about a very serious matter, or some kind of a rezoning or conditional use, I'm sure. And all of a sudden, as I'm speaking, they start laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, this is not funny, this is serious business. And so I hear this breathing from over the back of my shoulder, and I turn around, and there is this gigantic gorilla carrying a bouquet of balloons. It was my 30th birthday. And I think you can imagine who was in the costume. So that was one of my first experiences. And, a very dedicated public servant, and just a wonderful human being. So thank you.
Thanks, Tim. And now, we'll have a couple of remarks from the family. If someone would like to come up, say a few words.
Matter of elimination. I'm Kaz Zuckerman. I'm the oldest daughter, second oldest child of 6. And this means a lot to all of us. We appreciate it. And we're all very proud of the service that our father gave to our community, not just with the city council and as a mayor, but, like the mayor said, he was very active in the Lions Club, and I think everybody knows his passion for Red Cross and blood donation. But he was a happy person. He was a very social mayor. He loved being involved in everything, all his opportunities to be in the Apple Blossom Parade, and he never knew a stranger. Once they moved to Westminster, if they saw somebody sitting alone at dinner, they invited him over. He hated to see anybody by himself. He was just a very people person, and we're all very proud to be part of that family. So thank you all for honoring him tonight. Can't believe it's been almost a year. Oh, the main thing that surprised us all was that our Jewish father died on Christmas Day. So we all decided it was Mom saving us your time. So anyway, it's a day that we'll never forget. Thank you.
Thank you. In closing, so I met Mayor Zuckerman in 2015 when I announced I was running, and he was at the announcement, and he got up to say a few words, and one of the things he said was before he passed away, he wanted to see another Democratic mayor, and that stayed with me for a long time. And after becoming mayor, I would get phone calls from him from time to time. And one of the phone calls he used to call me about, like on an annual basis, he loved jazz. And they used to have this jazz concert at Westminster, Canterbury. I never got a chance to get there because whenever they were having it, I was going out of town. But I tell you, during our lunches, the mayor's lunches, he and Betsy, they used to get into it. Whenever he would say something, she was like, "Oh, Charlie," and they would just go at it, and we would just watch it. I mean, it was great. He was a great man, and I'm happy to be able to dedicate this room to him. And thank you all for coming.